who's going to take care of you when you're old? You know, you're never going to experience love, ever, if you don't have kids. How does your husband feel about this? You know, he might leave you for another woman if you don't give him a baby. You'll change your mind when you're older, okay? They all say that when they're young. So, what's your purpose? Like, how are you a woman without wanting to have a baby? You know, there's a lot of women that can't have babies. It's kind of fucking selfish as fuck that you're not having babies when you could. Oh, nothing. I'm just thinking about you being alone forever, you know? Because who's gonna love a childless woman? You know, if you have kids, it's not that much work. You just let them run around, throw some Cheez-Its at them a few times, and they're gonna be completely fine. So you're denying me grandbabies. You're denying it to me. I am owed it. I am owed it. Where is the children? Where is the grandbabies?
So I love children, but I do not want to have children anymore. And I never thought I would come to this day, ever, because that's something that comes natural to me. Taking care of children and teaching children comes natural. However, if you are experiencing like depression, anxiety, and just life in general, which I'm sure everyone probably experiences a little bit of it sometimes, but what I find is that getting through and powering through situations alone, you see that you don't get a lot of sympathy if you're single and child-free in this world. So you really have to show up for yourself a lot. And I feel like I'm learning still how to defend myself, how to show up for myself, how to go off on people about myself. And I'm doing good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not a little pushover or nothing like that. But what I mean is I'm learning so much about showing up for me. Why would I bring a child now? I'm still learning me.
What are you going to do with all your free time if you don't have kids? Are you telling me that you got bored, so instead of going out and getting a hobby, you decided to flip your world upside down? You decided to commit to a life of overstimulation and underappreciation, to have your finances be eaten away at, to spend your Saturdays watching an 8-year-old play t-ball, to never have time that is completely yours, because even when you're away, your kids are one phone call away. I don't think of kids as this fun, cute little afternoon project to cure my boredom.
As someone who's child-free by choice, I actually have no idea how to interpret this question. But my initial feeling when reading this was pure irritation. The short answer is that I do not see children in my life. And I think why this question irritated me is because I always constantly have to hear from people when I tell them that I'm child-free by choice, that I just need to meet the right person. And I might change my mind. I'm not. And also, contrary to popular belief, you can have a baby without a partner. Even more so, when I go on dates, specifically the first date, even if I meet them on an app, I make it clear I do not want children. If you want children, perhaps this is not going to work. So no, my choice was not influenced by not having an adequate partner in my life.
This is something that needs to be talked about. No, I am not a mother. And no, that does not mean I am slow, deaf, dumb, and stupid just because I never had children. So please, let's not do that. What I want to talk about is how a lot of people who needed to apologize for the things that they have done, the havoc that they have wreaked on others' lives, and the wrongs that they basically have committed in their own flesh, right? Some of these people have had children. And the Bible speaks often about how the sins of the parents are going to affect the generation after that parent. So you bringing a child into this world and everybody's giving you gifts at your baby shower. Everybody's giving you diapers at your diaper shower, right? But you didn't apologize for the things that you have done. So you have brought your child into this world to deal with your sins. Wow, congratulations. I feel like the society is so hypersexual. The music is hypersexual. The outfits, the hairstyles, the makeup, everything makes us basically look like prostitutes. And let's not lie about it. That's what we looking like when we getting out, when we getting dressed, and we're not even going to the club. A lot of the times we appear as prostitutes, okay? So of course somebody is going to want to pump you with a child. and you can't even think about what wrongs you have done and the sins that you have committed in your flesh that are automatically, based off of spiritual law, going to pass down to your child. Let me try to wrap up what I am saying as best as I can. If you have not completely addressed your own sins, the wrongs that you have committed, if you have not been sitting in prayer, sitting in Bible study, and asking for forgiveness. This is for Bible believers. Let me make that clear too, because I know it's a lot of people on here who are not Christian anymore, or they do not believe in Yahuwah anymore, because I know a lot of people are using the Hebrew name, okay? They don't believe in Yeshua HaMashiach, the Messiah, anymore. So maybe this ain't for you, but I do want to say that based off of what happens in the spirit, it applies to everyone, okay? If you are too busy being sexually active that you are not spending time to think about the things that you have done and how it has affected people around you, and how that can linger. It can linger, and it can affect you in many areas, because the word says that you reap what you sow. And also the curses that have been activated in one generation can go down to the third and fourth generation. So bringing a child into this world needs to be a bigger decision than just having sexual intercourse. It needs to involve greater thinking than just laying in bed with someone. You need to think about how you have done wrong to people, and you need to apologize before that same wrong now has to be it has to take effect in your child's life. That is biblical. So I think we need to be more responsible in bringing children into this world, and that is another reason why I don't think I want to have children, because there are things that I need to say sorry about. There are things that I need to apologize for. There are things that I need to be forgiven for. And I understand that the things that my parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, they were not perfect people. They can't be perfect because they are not the Savior himself. So the things that probably took place in secret that they have done affects me now, and I am fighting off those things, okay? And that is the reason why I feel bringing a child into this world needs to be a bigger decision, and it's a decision I'm not going to go through with right now. I'm focused on me.
Could you set the table and take the trash out and clean the outside chairs?
Oh, I was just driving for 8 hours. I was hoping I could sit down for a second.
Why can't Maria help with this? Because she's busy. She's feeding her daughter. Hey, could you clean the grill? Could you get the jacuzzi ready for everybody? Coming. Could you get the popcorn machine going? Can you take Frida out for a walk to do her business? Well, why can't Alan help with this? No, he can't. He's putting the kids down for a nap. She's not even my dog. Okay, we're done. I'm gonna relax a little bit. Could you bring everyone's bags in from the car? Can I just sit down for like a second? They haven't helped with any of this. Well, they can't right now because they're doing a photo shoot with the kids in the snow. This is my only vacation I've taken in a year. I was kind of hoping to relax. Can you help me prep all the vegetables, please? Simon can't help with any of this. He has his hands full with the kids. Would you mind doing a load of laundry? Why can't my cousins help? Come on, don't be difficult, okay? They have the kids to deal with. Everyone has to help out, okay? Okay, bags are in, jacuzzi's ready, dog's been walked, grill's been cleaned. Can I please just have a quick seat? No, you can't sit down yet because I need help making the sauce and I need somebody to peel the potatoes.
I knew I was living my life right when somebody looked me dead in my face after telling them that we were going to go to South Africa and like do Africa at least once a year, every year. And we were talking about all of our vacation plans. And they looked at me and they said, I can't wait till y'all have kids so y'all can sit down. Because what type of hater ass I want you to be miserable ass shit is that? And with that, I am going to have a pool day with my girls. We're going to drink and eat until our heart's desire. And yeah, so
I never wanted kids in the family. When I got out of high school, I told my gay bestie, if I turn 30 and you turn 30 and you don't have nobody and I don't have nobody, we could get together, make a family. You do you, I do me, and we just come together for our kid. I'm now 33. I don't want it. He don't want it either.
Part of me was nervous to speak on this again because the last time I did, my comments were flooded with hate. People even wished infertility on me just because I said I didn't want to be a mom. But that kind of reaction is why we need to have these conversations. If you're someone who's child-free or unsure, this video is for you. I was lucky enough to be raised by a mom who always told me to focus on myself, my goals, my career, and my dreams. And that's been my mindset ever since. But even then I used to think, maybe when I'm 30, I'll have a baby, I'll change my mind. But the older I got, the more I started thinking about what being a parent really entails. And then I asked myself, do I even want this at all? People aren't gonna like this one, but here's the truth. Being a mom is different. A child always needs their mother, and I know myself. I know I wouldn't want to miss a single moment. I want to be there for everything. I'd want to stay home. And to me personally, that would feel like losing myself. I don't want to lose my identity and become just mom. Society puts women in a box too easily, and I'm not here for it. I want to live a full, rich life as Natani, not as someone's mother. I want to thrive in career. I want freedom. I want me. Even with the tons of support I would have had, I know I would still be the one holding it all. I would still be the mom. So even then, I had to be honest with myself. Why do I want a baby? Is it for the cute moments, the Instagram pictures, the matching outfits, I want to see what my baby would look like? When I really sat with all of that, I was like, this is selfish. There is no truly selfless reason to have a child, and I think we all need to be honest about that. This choice takes a lot of self-awareness and thinking with your head instead of your heart. I personally also struggle with my mental health, and I know how I'd want to show up for a child, but I don't think I could in the way I'd want to. And I would never want to fail them in that way. And I think about the trauma I could pass down without even realizing it. And beyond the emotional weight, there's financial. Diapers, food, childcare, future colleges, cars, everything. It's a lot. And let's be real, mothers are not cared for in America. They're not protected, they're not prioritized, so that goes in with my whole everything. I love my freedom. And my relationship is precious to me, and I want to protect what we have. We're happy, we're full, and we don't need anything else to feel complete. I love sleeping in on the weekends with my fiance. I love traveling. I love buying shoes, bags, all of it. And I love not having someone relying on me 24/7. I just love my freedom, and that's not something I'm willing to give up just to check a box. Not done yet. There's also the bigger picture. Global warming, racism, and the cruelty and instability of this world. There is so many people hurting right now, and if you haven't noticed, there's a lot of evil in this world. Like, I already feel like I want to protect my unborn child from afar. So for anyone wondering where they stand, here's the truth I landed on. If it's not a hell yes, it's a hell no. And I'd rather regret not having a child in the future than regret having one. And never let anybody make you feel bad for making a decision for yourself. Do what's best for you. At the end of the day, this is your life. Live it how you want to. And you don't always have to go the traditional route. So that's how I feel about being child-free. If you guys have any questions or want me to dive deeper on anything I said, let me know, and I hope this helps.
Don't ask me why I don't want to have kids, because you're not going to like the answer. My husband and I have been together for 14 years, and anytime someone who has kids or is considering kids asks us why we are child-free by choice, I tell them the same thing. You're not going to like the answer. And the reason I say that is, one, experience, and two, because the reasoning and set of factors behind our decision are objectively true. They really are just facts, but they're facts that people with children either had children in spite of or just didn't consider. And that's why to a lot of people it feels like a personal attack, which it is not. But for some reason, my reasoning and the hours and hours of discussion my husband and I have had over the years feels to people like I'm telling them that they should have the same opinion that we do, which I'm not. You asked. And I think what I wish more people knew about child-free by choice people is that this decision isn't always from a selfish place. Sometimes this is a sacrifice for us too. And the hours and hours and years of intense in-depth discussion that goes into this decision just adds to the reason that some people feel attacked when I explain myself. But also, not wanting to have children is enough of an answer. The fact that, and this is a fact, it's not up for debate, that people with children don't get asked, well, why did you have kids? Even half the amount that my husband and I get asked, why don't you guys want kids, is reason enough for me to be armed with these answers, and why we've considered it so heavily for so many years. I'm 35 and we just finally came to the conclusion last year that this was our decision. But if you're a person with children, I'm not getting into this with you unless you really want to hurt your own feelings. Not because I aim to attack you or question you or make you validate the reason behind having children, but because most people have a hard time separating child-free people's reasonings from their own considerations or lack of considerations or experiences. And for the love of God, this is not me saying that you or anybody else shouldn't have children. I like kids, and I know some amazing parents, some people that were absolutely meant to have children, my own sister being one of them. But before you go asking a couple who is child-free by choice why they chose that life, know that probably more than 90% of the time, the years of thought that they put into whether or not to have children probably far surpasses the thought put into most people having children. And I said most, not all.
I'm gonna be real with y'all. Y'all know what's been hitting a little harder lately? The fact that I have no fucking kids to worry about. This is no shade to the moms right now. Let's just put that out there. No shade, mama. Like, if you got kids, bro, you doing this shit. Like, you doing the damn thing. I actually admire the fuck out of you. But there's no greater feeling right now than waking up and not having to cater to a small gremlin. Like, not having to cater to anyone, period. Actually, unfortunately, I do have a small gremlin. But he's chill. Like, it's my roommate for real. Right, Sachi? Yeah. But one that's sentient, yo, or like sentient like a human. Like, I have been in bed all morning, bro. All morning. And no one has bothered me. No one has told me anything. Like, if I don't feel like feeding myself, I don't have to worry about feeding anyone else. Like, we take that shit for granted. Being childless, especially in your 20s, when you have your own shit, your own apartment, like, it's honestly like a liberating feeling. Like, it really is. It's like, yo, like, this is life. Like, I'm living for me right now. That's so crazy.
Oh no, I don't want any kids. Wow, that's like really selfish. To who? To society? Oh, that's really weird. I didn't know I owed society anything. You have to continue your bloodline for the human race. I'd probably be a horrible mother though. No, you won't. Children will change you. You're a woman, it's what you're meant to do. Okay, I just had a baby. Well, you're kind of a bad mother. Yeah, I didn't want to have this baby. You should have thought about that before you had the baby. I literally did, but you told me that it would change me and I'd feel differently about it. It didn't. Well, it's supposed to. You're just a bad person. They're better off without you. Okay, I gave the baby up for adoption. It's for the best. You abandoned your child? You're a horrible person. Oh my god. I literally didn't want to be a mother. So. It doesn't matter what you want. It's your responsibility to take care of it. But I was doing a really bad job and also didn't want to do it. So I gave it to someone who does want to do it and would love them properly. Wow. So you had a baby knowing you didn't want it. So selfish. You literally told me to. So. You're what's wrong with all women. Oh. Alright.